is NFL draft and sports fans, NFL teams, probably got some good draft picks. Some feel like they probably didn't get a good run at it. But round one of the 2025 NFL draft is underway. So, what's y'all favorite team, man? Did y'all get the draft pick that y'all want? Let me know. Chime in. Drop a comment. Yo, what's your favorite team? Let me know. Did Cam Ward go number one? Let me find out. Yup. Cam Ward went number one. So Cam Ward went to the Tennessee Titans, man. Miami QB. And if y'all know the Titans, the mobility is key in the AFC South. You got to know how to move that ball. So Cam Ward can definitely do that. Steve McNair, reminiscent, gunslinger, so you can get the ball downfield. With under pressure too. Under pressure when it counts the most. Getting those key yardage. Those 3rd and 4s, those 4th and 5s. Those are very important if you want to get into a playoff spot in the AFC South. So, when you have traits like that, you can definitely make a strong divisional run into the playoffs. So, Tennessee Titans, I say they got a good, durable QB in Cam Ward. Under pressure, can really handle that. Chime in and let me know what y'all think about the first-round pick, Cam Ward. Number 1 draft pick, Tennessee Titans. Nashville, how y'all feeling out there? Huh? Y'all got a mobile QB, dynamic, accurate, and can withstand pressure. That's what y'all need, because y'all got all the other pieces. All right. The second-round pick, highly celebrated, the Heisman Award winner, Travis Hunter from the University of Colorado. But shout out to Jackson State too, though. I believe Jackson State coach Deion Sanders and what he did out there in Jackson State really paramounted historically black college universities to where other former NFL players want to coach. But I just really want to shout out that because this is a dynamic player and he's going to be on Jacksonville. What better place to be a two-way player than in Jacksonville, right? So you got Travis Hunter, dynamic player, two-way. Y'all seen what he did at Colorado. Took a 1-11 university team, transformed them over 2 years being there. Cornerback skills, defense, can play the long ball, and can play up close. So you got a playmaker who's going to electrify the game. Everybody's going to come out and want to see him in Jacksonville, so he's going to put people in the seats for sure. People want to see how he's going to operate. Again, we're talking about the AFC South, so you're going to have Cam up there in Nashville, and then you're going to have Travis down here in Jacksonville. So can you imagine if these two teams can really make a run this season and put the AFC on the map as far as going deep into that playoff run. Chime in, let me know what y'all think about that. Travis Hunter to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Y'all think that's a good fit? I think it's a good fit, as far as like how offense and defense is ran in Jacksonville. They need that type of asceticism. And again, I'm thinking about ratings. I'm thinking about people who gonna come out, jersey sales, endorsements. That's all gonna be a part of that package when you have a number one cornerback, Heisman winner, can play both sides of the field. So shout out to Travis, number 2 draft. Good to see that. Really, really, really excited to see what he do in Jacksonville. Again, chime in, let me know what y'all think about the number 2 draft pick, Travis Hunter, being in Jacksonville. Jayville, where y'all at? Duval County. Check in, man. Y'all got Travis. All my sports fans, check in. Let me know what y'all think about that. All right. And next we have the 3rd pick, the edge, Penn State. Penn State had a good, solid 4 years, man. So, you think of Giants, you definitely think of a team that can make a little and turn into a lot, right? And what I mean by that is that they in the NFC East, which is typically wide open for many teams that's in the NFC. I mean, anybody can run it. And with Philadelphia winning the Super Bowl, the NFC East is looked at as a Super Bowl division, perhaps next year. So with this revamp, or adding that defense, you adding Abdul Carter to the mix. Hey, what do y'all think about New York? You know what I'm saying? Also, putting him on the defensive line alongside Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeau allows the G-men to send multiple pass rushers after the quarterback on a regular basis. I've known that the G-men are good at that. Very good at rushing the field, getting people off, little possessions, getting the ball back, going down the field, making a real, grit and grind game. So if they get back to that formula, I can see them making some major moves. And that's what it's about. So New York, G-men, they got an edge rusher, Abdul Carter, 3rd round pick. That's a high pick for a defense. So that means that what he brings is definitely going to make New York a prominent defensive team in the NFC East. And when you think of NFC East, you think of defense. You think of, people coming off that end and getting you down, putting you in the backfield, taking away those positive yardage that you gain. So, shout out to Abdul Carter, man. 3rd round, New York Giants, major media market. So you'll get your shine time on the field. I believe that you can definitely make an impact and resurge the New York Giants to playoff prominence. So shout out to that 3rd pick in New York. Let me know what y'all think about that 3rd round pick, 3rd round draft pick in the 1st round. Abdul Carter, edge receiver. Yeah, hit that like button, man. Hit that hitchhike button. Appreciate y'all for checking out the live. Don't be shy, man. Drop comments. And this is a live review of the 2025 first round NFL draft. You know what I'm saying? Very versatile with the lives. So fourth pick in the first round draft, right, goes to Will Campbell, offensive tackle coming out of LSU, Tigerland. Yeah, Tigerland. So he's going to be hanging out in the borough, Gillette Stadium, Will Campbell, and the Patriots. Offensive line. Oh, that's important. Why is it important? Well, you need stability in the AFC East. You need stability on that offensive front because it gets cold out there. It gets cold on the East Coast. Playing those late November games, you're going to need offensive protection because it's crunch time. Yeah, it's crunch time. So you're going to have Will Campbell, the Patriots offensive line, and need a guy on the edge who can lock it down, and Campbell does just that. In the SEC, week in and week out, LSU, SEC, Juggernaut Conference. So you're basically dealing with athletes that are in that NFL range, and he has a firm base, firm hands and a good base. And when you have a firm and good base, that's going to allow you to have good pass protection. With a team like the Patriots, years and years of dominance with offensive linemen, I'll say Will Campbell fits right in with what the Patriots got going on. Fourth pick in the first round draft goes to Will Campbell. Congratulations on being able to make it to the Patriots, the AFC East. Let me see. It's a wide open conference. It's wide open, but the Patriots have been known to dominate that conference. You got the Bills. With this addition, I believe that the Patriots are on the right path to building back that franchise team. The tradition is there. Now you got an offensive lineman, that's going to be able to give you that open lane for your run game and for those dropbacks. So all my people up there in the mass, let me know what you think about this draft pick. Fourth pick in the first round goes to Will Campbell. Now moving on to Cleveland. With the fifth pick in the first round draft goes to Mason Graham, a defensive tackle out of Michigan. Go Blue. So Graham is one of those true dogs in this draft class. He might not have the prototypical dimensions, but he can play ball. Graham is physical, aggressive, quick off the ball, and has non-stop, relentless motor. I think that's what they need in Cleveland, man. With Myles Garrett bringing pressure off the edge, Graham gives Cleveland a disruptor on the interior. Okay, so I can see that. You got somebody blasting in the middle. You got Graham's on the out. So for the AFC North, in which you're going to have Pittsburgh and Baltimore, yeah, that's very important because I think Baltimore might be coming out with more vengeance than last year. And when you have somebody that can get through that middle and stop those play actions and those RPOs, that's going to be major in Cleveland. So shout out to Cleveland for this 5th pick in the first round draft. Mason Graham, straight out of Michigan, Wolverines. So they're making noise, man. For all the Cleveland fans out there, let me know what y'all think of this pick. Mason Graham, Michigan. Like I was mentioning, him coming through the middle and Miles coming on the outside in the AFC North. Yeah, that's definitely going to make some things happen. Then the 6th round pick, Ashton Jeanty. I like to call him the Haitian Bronco. Repping Boise State. Y'all seen the highlights. You know, hundreds and hundreds of yards on major teams at that. He's going to go to Las Vegas. I can see that working out in the AFC West. Because now you have someone that's going to be able to give you that lift, those home runs. And when it comes to crunch time, you have someone that's going to win, wants to win. So I think this was an excellent pick for a team like Las Vegas. I think it just continues to add to their persona. A team that will run through you, will pass over you to get the win. And we're going to seal off the win with our defense. So all my Las Vegas / I know it's not Oakland no more, Los Angeles, but all of them that still like the Raiders, the Raider Nation. Hey, man, I think this was a good pick. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all think this was a good pick, the 6th pick in the draft, Las Vegas, get Ashton Jeanty? I think it's a plus to what they're already doing. So you got a person that runs, man, like, let's see. I know they say they compare him to LaDainian Tomlinson and Frank Gore. But I almost like to say he runs like a Jerome Bettis mixed with a Ricky Waters. Yeah. So 6th pick in the first round draft, man, Ashton Jeanty. In that black and silver, man. The Raider Nation probably going ballistic because of this, man. Will this be the piece that they need to get through the playoffs or to the playoffs and make a dive to a championship? Let me know what y'all think about that. 8th pick in the first round draft, the Carolina Panthers. Hey, man, I predicted that the Panthers go to the Super Bowl in 2015. I was telling everybody before the season even started, hey, man, Carolina Panthers going to the Super Bowl. And they did. Had a good run. So, Tetairoa, let me see if I can pronounce his name. Forgive me if I don't pronounce it right. Tetairoa McMillan, out of the Wildcat Nation, Arizona. Stand up. So the Panthers get a big body receiver with exceptional hand-eye coordination and athleticism, routinely with 50-50 balls. Hey, you need that. Dave Canales continues to redesign his wide receivers room and creates Carolina's version of Mike Evans, Chris Goodwin tandem with McMillan joining Xavier Legette. Except the jump ball specialist to gel with Bryce Young from day one. Expect. Word to Bucky Brooks, though. I'm reading this content. All right. Carolina. Charlotte. What y'all think about this 8th pick in the draft? Do y'all feel like y'all need a receiver? You feel like this is the one that's going to get it? Let's see, we got the NFC South, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Who else I got? Atlanta. Yeah, that sounds like a high-flying conference. 50-yard passes and stuff like that. So having that might be able to edge them down the field more and more. Having that person that on 3rd and 20, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 10, that's able to get those lobs, some screens, hard to take down. Will this be something that they can be able to use to get them into a playoff spot in the NFC South? Carolina Panther fans, chime in. Let me know what y'all think about Tetairoa. McMillan out of Arizona, wide receiver, 8th pick in the first round draft. All right. Now we're going down to New Orleans, baby. New Orleans. The 9th pick in the first round draft, Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas, 40 acres, Longhorns. The offensive line is everything for a creative play designer like Kellen Moore. The Saints get a premier pass protector in Banks with footwork, agility, and athleticism to be an ideal dancing bear for Moore's offense. Yeah, it fits in New Orleans. Good run team, good balanced team. Again, you got the NFC South. Could be a good run for New Orleans this year. When you have a healthy, strong line, you can make some things happen. So, any New Orleans Saints fans in the building, let me know what y'all think about this 9th pick in the first round draft, Kelvin Banks Jr. Think that's going to help y'all get to the playoffs? Hit that like button. All right, 9th pick, out of Michigan. Got another Michigan alumni, Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan, going to the Bears. The Bears, Chicago, and you say Shaw City, got you a nice tight end, man, coming to your city. Hey, Chicago, I think, is one of those teams that are going to surprise a lot of people this season. So Loveland is a jumbo wide receiver who can line up in the flat or wide out while also possessing the toughness to be a wide option. Traditional tight end. Ben Johnson is building the offense to elevate second-year Caleb Williams, who gets a dominant target in the middle of the field in Loveland. Okay. I like Chicago for this reason. Last year, what y'all seen out of Chicago, what many thought was a bad season, I thought was pretty good as far as like the tenacity. Even though they trailed a lot of games, they kept it close. Had a good defense, fell short a lot of times. But with this additional pick, Chicago, I think y'all in a good position, man, to actually be a real surprise in that NFC North. I'm almost confident to say that Chicago will win the NFC North this season. What y'all think? Let me know. Think Chicago will win the North now that they have a tight end in Colston Loveland? They'll be able to get through the middle of the field, especially on those tough 3rd and 7 plays when you're facing Green Bay, Detroit, Minnesota. Those are key teams that you need to win against to solidify that you can make a strong run deep in the playoffs. So, Colston Loveland, I believe he'll fit right in with that offensive scheme that's coming out of Chicago. And I look for them to make a deep run. If you're a Chicago fan, let me know what you think about this 10th pick in the first round. Moving on, we got another edge defense lineman, Mykel Williams, out of Georgia, home of the Dogs, baby. Dynamic off the edge, Mykel has ideal traits and relentless competitiveness to bully blockers at the point of attack. 49ers do a great job at developing pass rushers, and in time, Williams should turn into a dominant player off the edge, opposite of Nick Bosa. Okay, so San Francisco is going defensive this first round. 49ers fans, where y'all at? I know y'all all over. There's a lot of 49ers fans all over. It's probably some listening right now to this live, trying to peep what I'm talking about. Hit that like button, you know what I'm saying, so I can drop in the algorithm. But now y'all got Mykel Williams coming off the edge, along with Nick Bosa. San Francisco's a pretty cool team as far as like winning games when it counts the most. They've been to the playoffs, recently been in the Super Bowl. They got the recipe. Now they're solidifying their defense. So this is just probably going to complement to get them to the Super Bowl, but not only to the Super Bowl, but to win this decade. So all my 49ers fans digging for gold, let me know what y'all think about Mykel Williams joining the 49ers Nation, coming out of Georgia. So that's a SEC team. You know, you already know they previously been to a few national champs. Good pick, in my opinion. Shout out to Mykel Williams, man, joining the San Francisco 49ers. All right, moving on to the 12th pick in the draft. Now we talking the Dallas Cowboys. We them boys. Now, better get. I'm trying to think of that song. Never mind. Anyways, you got Tyler Booker, a guard out of the University of Alabama. What else is it to say about Alabama? You've been seeing them in practically a lot of championships. You've been seeing them just basically the face of the SEC as far as football goes. Booker is an absolute bully up front who loves playing in the phone booth. Dallas offense is best when led by an elite offensive line. Could we agree on that? So Brass brings in a dominant guard who thrives in a gap scheme and will knock defenders back into the second level in the run game. Okay, so Dallas, all my Dallas fans, Cowboy Nation, y'all all over too, all over the world, matter of fact. Now you got Tyler Booker that's going to be able to generate even more offense. You know, Dallas got a good offensive scheme. I remember I went to one Dallas game. I seen Dak do a play action, man. It was so cold, you didn't even know he had the ball. So having that offensive front and somebody that can really just get you out the way, man, that's going to open up Dak doing his play action. That's going to open up them tight ends, running the corners. That's going to open up the run game. So for the NFC East, again, it's wide open. But it's anybody's turn. So Dallas, 12th pick in the first round. I think they made a good decision. If everyone's healthy, they do have some weapons that can generate a lot of electricity. Your fan base is always there, game after game, win or lose. So, you know, Dallas, the ball is really in your court to win. You got all the right pieces. You got athletes that can really make stuff happen. I just know that this piece with Dallas is going to turn them up. So, shout out to Tyler Booker, man, coming out of Alabama. Moving on to the 13th pick in the first round draft. You got Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. And that's 3 Michigan alumni so far in the first round. Hey, man, that's saying a lot. So this is a defensive tackle. Grant is a massive defensive tackle with athleticism and aggressive mentality to dominate opponents at the line of scrimmage. Miami now has a run stuffer in the middle of the D-line who also possesses pass rushing skills. So the Miami Dolphins got a defensive tackle. Okay. I believe that's going to make them even more dynamic in the AFC East. Again, they made a run last year, building up on that. Now they got more defensive prowess. A sneaky team Miami can be. So all my Miami fans out there, let me know what y'all think about this pick right here. 13th pick in the first round draft goes to Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. Shout out. 14th pick, Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. General manager Chris Ballard loves prototypical players at the tight end position and gets a playmaker with positional versatility in Warren. The Penn State product has an exceptional ability to catch and will help Anthony Richardson and or Daniel Jones in the middle of the field. AFC South, Indianapolis, tight ends. Tight ends becoming more and more a go-to, especially in the middle of the field. Indianapolis and the AFC South probably make some things happen. Who we got in the AFC South? We got, Indy. Who else we got? I think AFC South. Who's in the South? Can't think of all the teams in the South right now for some reason. No worries. Either way, what do y'all think about this pick for Indianapolis? This is what they need to get them into the playoffs. They got two good quarterbacks, I would say. So passing is key, of course, especially if you're picking up a tight end. You want to pick up those mid-range yards and perhaps some yards after carries that could perhaps get you in a good field goal position or touchdown. Always, for some reason, I think in Indianapolis, I see their games, they always kicking a lot of field goals. So maybe this pick can get them past that to where they're scoring. All right, but shout out to Tyler Warren. Moving on to the 15th pick, an edge rusher out of Georgia. The Dogs in the building. Jalon Walker goes to Atlanta. Right, so the Falcons immediately improve their rush with Walker, an explosive and natural edge defender. He also possesses Mike-like linebacker skills, so it'll be interesting to see how Raheem Morris and Jeff Obert use Walker in a defensive game plan. Right, so Atlanta got defense, somebody that's can get around that corner, get that quarterback, stop that run. Atlanta in the NFC South can definitely be a strong playoff contender and win that division. Now that they added Jalon Walker to the defensive front. So shout out to Jalon Walker, man, on making that 15th pick in the first round. Moving on to the 16th pick, we have Walton Nolen coming out of Mississippi. All right, going to the Cardinals, defensive tackle. And beefing up their defensive line with an SEC Ole Miss product, Nolen has the elite explosiveness and violent hands to create penetration at the point of attack. Okay. NFC West is looking to beef up their defense. It'd be interesting to see what's going to go on between the Cardinals and the 49ers now that they both are picking first round defensive players. Right, moving on. Shout out to Walter Nolen. Moving on to Shemar Stewart out of Texas A&M, 12 edge rusher. Went to the Cincinnati Bengals as their 17th pick. So you got a athlete that's dominant, tremendous upside, got a good first step, can burst off the line, A lot of talent, and with talent comes maturation. So in the right environment, like Cincinnati, playing opposite of Trey Hendrickson, it's going to work out for him. And Cincinnati got a great QB, great receivers. So the AFC North going to be pretty interesting to see Cincinnati battle Baltimore and Pittsburgh and Cleveland. Yeah, I believe a Super Bowl contender might come out of this division this year. Shout out to Shemar Stewart, man, coming out of Texas A&M. All right, moving on to the 18th pick in the first round, which is Zabel, North Dakota State. Nice. Got a guard out of North Dakota State. Going to the Seahawks, man. Okay, that's nice. So Zabel has a 5-position flexibility. He plays with strength, power, agility. And because he came out of North Dakota State, which is even cooler, shows his work ethic and all that good stuff. He's going to Seattle. Yeah, you got Geno Smith out there. It's going to be an interesting NFC West battle, too. So shout out to Zabel, man, going to the Seahawks, man. 12. All right, moving on to the 19th pick, we got Egbuka coming out of Ohio State. A polished receiver who regularly separates from the receivers. Egbuka is the perfect number 3 receiver alongside Mike Evans and Chris Goodwin. So he's going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which you got Baker Mayfield, always throwing them rockets. Oh, it's getting interesting in the NFC South. Tampa Bay might be that team this year. Tampa Bay, check in. Let me know what y'all think about Emeka going to be the next hot receiver that Baker connect with. All right, moving on to the 20th pick. We got Jahdae Barron coming out of Texas, man. All right, the winner of the Jim Thorpe Award, defensive back that is going to be able to really put Denver back on that defensive front. So he's going to the Broncos. And, Broncos going to be looking good this season as far as defense goes. Don't throw the that way to Jahdae, man. I'm telling you, he might have a record interception season, man. All right, moving on to the 21st pick, coming out of Oregon, the Ducks. You got Derrick Harmon, awesome, going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh always known for that defense. So the AFC North is going to be a battle as well. Shout out to Derrick Harmon, man, out of Oregon. All right, the 22nd pick out of the first round, North Carolina, Amari Hampton. He's going to the Chargers, going to the Boats. So you got a workhorse, someone that's going to push the ball down the field. Consistency is key with Hampton. So the more you give him the ball, the more he's going to bring you victories, in other words. All right. Shout out to Amari Hampton, man, coming out of North Carolina, Tar Heeling, man, to the Chargers. For sure. Now, the 23rd pick in the first round goes to Matthew Golden. Shout out to Golden. I always thought he was in that Texas versus, I believe, Ohio State game, one of those games. He really stood out. So he went to the Packers. He's going to show out there, I already know. This is going to be the first round receiver since selecting Javon Walker out of 2002 for the Packers. I'm telling you, Golden is the truth. I believe, like, when it's a clutch situation, you throw it to him, he's going to make it happen. So shout out to Matthew Golden. Man, you don't need no stamps from me, but definitely Green Bay, y'all did good with this one, man. I believe he could have went even higher than the 23rd pick. But shout out to Matthew Golden, man. you definitely going to make some impact for the Packers. All right, moving on to the 24th pick. First round, we got Donovan Jackson coming out of the Ohio State, going to the Minnesota Vikings. And Vikings, offensive power in the NFC North. So now that you got Donovan on that offensive front, that's going to push people back, you're going to have plenty of time to chunk that ball, Bradford. Shout out to all the players, man, that's making it happen. That's doing their thing, man. So, hey, I like to just make a reaction to it just to see who all got picked. Appreciate y'all watching. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, man. That's what's up. All right. Moving on to the 25th pick in the first round. Got Jackson Dart coming out of Mississippi, man. Going to the New York Giants. Yeah. New York Giants, man, where y'all at? What y'all think about this? I think it's a perfect fit. You know what I'm saying? A gunslinger. And potentially a starter. So Jackson Dart coming out of Mississippi. You know. Giants got defense and offense in the first round. So that's a good thing. So, yeah, shout out to Jackson Dart coming out of Mississippi. 25th pick in the first round. So that's what's up. So moving on to the 26th pick in the first round. The Atlanta Falcons pick up James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee. Defense. Falcons is beefing up, man. NFC South, man, I better watch out because you got somebody that's exceptional off the line with James Pierce Jr. All right, moving on to the 27th pick, round 1. You got Malaki Starks going to the Baltimore Ravens. So the Ravens have a versatile player now in the secondary. So you're going to be surprised what Malaki's going to do because he's a special player, man. I'm going to be watching, man, for Malaki, what he do with Baltimore. All right. Shout out to Tyreek Williams, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State that went to the Detroit. Okay. Need I say more? Detroit been making waves in the playoffs. So this adding Tyreek to the defensive front, probably get him to the Super Bowl this year. Moving on to the 29th pick, Josh Connolly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon, going to the Washington. What is it, the Redskins this year, or is it still going to be Commanders? Either way, you got a offensive tackle who's going to be able to protect Daniels even more. So when it comes time to the playoffs, if they're healthy, Washington's going to make a deep run. And you got youth and vitality with Josh. So having him on the front, gaining that experience, probably see him in a lot of Pro Bowls and perhaps Super Bowl as well. So shout out to Josh Connolly Jr. For his 29th pick going to the Washington Redskins. And now we're moving on to the 30th pick with Maxwell Hairston coming out of Kentucky, the Wildcats, going to Buffalo to join the Bills to address a big need by drafting a young cornerback with tremendous speed and length, great instincts with Maxwell, awareness, and a versatile game to play in Sean McDermott's defensive scheme. So looking for a lot of interceptions, man, if you're going to throw Maxwell's way. Going to the 31st pick in the first round goes to Campbell coming out of Alabama, SEC alumni. So you got Vic Fangio, unlocked the linebacker Zach Bunn last season, and now gets a similar understudy in Campbell, a see-ball, get-ball defender in the middle of the defense. Your linebackers are unique. I always think they're the anchor of your defense. So if you got a blazing linebacker like Jihad on your team, could we see a repeat in Philadelphia? Philadelphia, let me know, Eagles Nation. And the 32nd pick goes to Josh Simmons in the first round, an offensive tackle out of Ohio State. All right, so Ohio State and Michigan had a really good draft pick season. All right. Thank y'all, man, for allowing me to review the first round, my reactions to it. I overall think that every pick was strategic for each team this season. Like, they actually based it off of longevity. That's what it looks like and y'all can let me know what y'all think about the picks in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. But I appreciate y'all, man. This was fun. Y'all have a good night, man. I'm out.